Right now in the garden, a lot of things are needing to be cut back. For instance, the petunias are done. So, um, I could probably get seed from this, but I'm not going to do that. It's too much. I can just go and buy them in the spring or the summer. But I'm going to remove those.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see.
Guys, I know that a lot of people talk about putting in new soil every year. I do not do that. Soil is very expensive, and I know that it is the foundation of the growth of your flowers. But when you're putting in annuals, when I'm putting in annuals, if I had a problem with the plant, then I would probably remove the soil. But if I did not have any issues with the plant, I would fluff the soil up and put in some compost or fertilizer, which I'm going to do anyway. I would always put fertilizer, either the osmocote, or however you pronounce it. I would put that in first, or I would put in one of the products, Biospoma, the Biotone is what I would put in. So yeah, right now I am putting this pot to bed. I may put some pansies in here, I doubt it. But this would be a good time to put in some pansies and just let them stay over the fall and stay over the winter, and then in the spring remove the leaves that have fallen from the trees onto your pot. Remove those and just let the sun hit this, and your pansies would just burst into color. So that is one way of doing it. I'm not planning on doing that, but you never know. Things change all the time. So that's cleaned up. Moving on. Okay, right here I have a limelight or Annabelle hydrangea, which is ready to be cut back. So that's what I'm going to do.
From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful.
Annabelle hydrangeas, like a lot of the pina colada, not pina colada. I'm gonna put it on the screen, okay? Paniculata, yes. So, most of the Annabelle, Limelight, a lot of those family, in the same family, hydrangeas, they grow on, the flower grows on new wood. So that just means you can chop this baby down and it will grow on the new wood. So it don't matter. I mean, a lot of people say don't cut more than a third. I just cut it down to where it looks fine to me. and then it always grows back. So don't be afraid to cut your paniculadas, not pina coladas, but your paniculadas. Don't be afraid to cut them down because they will grow back on new wood. That's all I'm wanting you to understand. It will grow back on new wood. So I'm getting ready to cut back. This is a petunia. I'm getting all these P names. Petunia paniculata. Yes, I'm going to cut it back. I said cut back, but I'm going to cut it, period, and get rid of it because it's an annual. It won't be coming back. Actually, you don't have to cut it. Just pull it up and there it is. In the trash can it goes. It was so beautiful. Thank you for making my wonderful summer with your presence. I just fluff up the soil. I'm not taking it in. I may take this container to the greenhouse because it may not be able to survive without cracking in our winters. So that I may do. But right now I'm just fluffing up the soil and getting it ready for bed. Now here I have a it's wrapping its tentacles around everything. It's wrapped around this chair so tight. Kind of like those clematis. The clematis, you know how the clematis just grabs on to things and just wraps itself around it. That's what this grapevine is doing. Oh my, you should see this. Look at this. Take a look. Look at this. It has wrapped itself around this chair. This is a Concord grape. Look at it. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to pry it from this spot. I should have been paying attention to this, but of course we get busy and we don't pay attention. And it gets all wrapped up, tangled up, tied up. All right. Ta-da! This is a Concord grape. And I really don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I want to have grapes, but man alive, I don't know where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to just look around today in the garden and see where I can plant this baby. Because it's definitely thriving, and I'm sure in the winter all of these leaves are going to fall off anyway. And I would like to have it planted in the fall so that it can have a good start in the ground instead of sitting in this pot. If you have anything in pots, you need to take it out of the pot and at least try to give it a fresh start in the ground. I think that would help this plant immensely because it wants to live. It's doing fabulously. So I need to find a spot for it. That's my goal for today, find a spot for him. All right, let's move on. Before we get to the other petunia in the other pot, I spotted this pot. These were absolutely gorgeous, and their time is up as well. So I'm just going to pull them out of this planter because they're an annual and they're not going to survive our winters. But it was sure pretty over the summer. So I have another plant in here that is a perennial, and it's not looking too hot right now, just because it doesn't have a lot of water, and it's in a pot, and yada yada. Those are the things they need. It needs water, and this is a shade plant, so it doesn't need a lot of sun, but it's a Sun King Aurelia. I am going to cut it back, just willy-nilly, cutting it back, because these leaves are going to fall off during the winter anyway. So don't be afraid to cut back your perennials. There's not a lot of evergreen. There are some evergreen perennials, but most are deciduous, meaning that the leaves will fall off. And so don't try to get it to look pretty, because its pretty days are over this season. And now it's time to just put it in the ground somewhere. So that's what I am going to try to do as well. So I'm just cutting it back, taking it out of this container, and there's nothing wrong with putting your perennials in with your annuals. This was a new perennial, so I stuck it in this container basket, and I knew I was going to have to find a space for it over the fall, because it's not going to survive in this pot, I don't think, over the winter. So I'm not going to take that chance and try to do that. But I'm going to remove this out of here and find another spot for it. Here is the picture of the Sun King Aurelia. Isn't that pretty? And it loves sun. It loves shade. Even though it's called Sun King, it loves shade. It's a beautiful chartreuse green in a shade garden. It's probably one of the first plants you see in a shaded garden because of those really bright yellow leaves, yellow-green leaves. So I have to find a spot for that. I have to find a spot for the Concord grapes. So I'm basically, what I'm doing, guys, is walking around my garden and seeing what needs to be taken care of, either cut back, taken up, put somewhere else, all those things. Those are the things that I'm doing right now. And so far I have this Concord grape that I need to find a home for. I need to find a home for the Sun King Aurelia. And let's see what else. I'm going to turn the camera around and look at what's behind it. Okay, another spot in my garden is the hosta in this yellow pot. This is something that I put in the pot every year. Well, something that remains in the pot year to year, year by year by year. Okay, I never remove it out of this pot. I just winter in the pot, and it comes back every year. So if you're ever wondering, can I put a pasta in a pot? Yes, you can. And it will come back. I usually like to put it close to my foundation of my house so that it can have a little warmth. I wouldn't put it like in the middle of your grass or something like that, because it'll be too much wind, too much, too much for it to have a chance of coming back. If you put it up close to your foundation, or better yet, put it in a garage, unheated garage, it would be fine. So that can stay out here a little longer. It looks really pretty. I just like cutting stuff back, little yellow leaves. This is a new plant I got this year. This is a yucca. I got this at Walmart, believe it or not. And this this lantana was really, really pretty underneath. I like to underplant plants if it has this, if it has soil underneath it and you can see the soil, why not put a plant in there and underplant it with something pretty? So that lantana was really, really pretty. And I have drip on these containers. So I didn't need drip for this little, I can see with this little plant, it is growing at the base. So I'm going to keep that there and maybe put some water in it. Okay, I'm just doing a walk around, cutting back, pruning, throwing away, all the things. And I had petunias in this pot, in one of these pots. I took it out, and so these are elephant ears. I may take those and put them in the basement. I have an echinacea here, seen better days. Just gonna cut off I have, I believe these are bluebells in here, and echinacea. So a lot of that is not going to, a lot of that is going to stay in this, all of that is going to stay in this pot. I'm not taking anything out. Well, the Bloodgood Japanese maple is looking pretty good, as usual. That's one plant I can count on looking very nice. Here's this other container. It has still petunias in it, and it looks pretty good. It also has a hosta in it, and I'm going to just cut back these hosta leaves because they look hideous at this point of this time of the year. They will come back for sure, but right now our focus is just cleaning up the garden a little bit. Hey Tony, that's my hummingbird friend saying hello.
You and me, we meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Don't forget to water these plants as you're going around cutting and getting rid of things. Give them a good watering. That will bring it back to life in a lot of ways. say, these leaves are going to fall off in the winter anyway, but I plan on moving these into a different location. But in the meantime, I do want to give it a little bit of water.
Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell.
To move these plants from underneath here, which I believe are, that's that, I can't remember the name of it, I'll put it on the screen, but it is a perennial as well, so I need to find a place for it. So I have 3 plants right now that I need to find a place for. This one, so that this fig can live and get bigger, because it's still in the same state that it was in practically when I bought it. To come out, it needs to have its own space to grow. So let me go look around the garden and see if I can find some places to put these plants. That looks like a Sun King Aurelia back there that I put in this year, so I guess I could double it up, but I don't want to do that because no telling how big this plant will get. I need to come in here and cut this back. See all that ajuga that I planted? It looks so pretty to me. I think it looks nice. That's something new as well. These little patches, I don't really want to have open patches like this because you always get weeds. So maybe I can put something there. I don't have a problem stuffing stuff in, as you can tell. I think the more the merrier, the less weeds, the better. So the grape cannot go back here because it needs full sun, I'm sure. The Sun King Aurelia could probably work really well there. And I could move these and put those over here where this brick is. I think I will do that. That's a great idea. They look so pretty now in the fall. Cucarellas. They look so pretty in the fall. I think they look so much better in the fall than they do in the summer. So I'm going to move those two right over here in this little spot. And then I'll put the Sun King Aurelia right here. So let me get that started.
You and me were meant to be.
I just want to make mention of how pretty this Cucarella is. Look at that. I wish I had the name of it, but I do not. But it is so pretty. And like I say, it looks so much better in the fall than it does in the spring. And this one in the back here is looking really, really nice with the Autumn Joy sedum right above it. Very, very nice. This one under here, let's get that out of the way. It's Coral Bells Lime Marmalade. And that one is not this one. It's not this one. It is, let me show you which one that is. It's this one back here. It's this one tucked deep down in there. Look how pretty that is. Very, very pretty to me. And I don't care for the flowers, spikes that it produces, these things. I usually cut those off. But yeah, just make a mention. I'm using some Espoma plant tone. I have it in this bucket because it has a little hole in the bag. So I'm just going to put that in there like that. Move this in like this. Like this. I'll put both of them together. I'm a fan of crowding things because I just like the way it looks. I need my kneeler. So as you can see, I just put these in here. And actually, move them back a little bit. I'll move it forward a little bit. Very, very important to water these things in. Yes, they are perennials and they will do better than annuals, but they won't survive long without water. So important to do that. Okay, get up my junk. I could have put that closer to here, but I can always tuck something else in there. Okay, this is the Sun King Aurelia. It is a very nice root ball, so I'm going to start digging around here to put this in, put in some fertilizer and dug up. Now the bees, of course, want to get in my way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this soil in here, in this bucket, and then when I have my plant tucked in its spot, then I'll put it back, the soil back on top. This is a good way to just get the soil out of the way while you prepare the soil. Water in here, around, get my kneeler, see it has a very nice root ball, so I'm going to put that right in here. Let me put my fertilizer in there first. About a handful and a half. Put put that right there. It should be very happy here in its new home, I think. So I'm going to get some of the soil out of the bucket that I put in here. Put it around this plant. And because I did not disturb the roots that much, I was able to get a nice clump of a root ball. I'm able to just put this around it. I think this is a great spot for the Sun King Aurelia because it's a nice shady area, and that's what this plant loves. You don't learn anything else. You got to put the right plant in the right spot. You have this in a sunny area, it will wilt and die quickly. Because that's not the environment it wants to live in. So you got to know your reach your tags, and you got to put them where they want to thrive. So I believe this will thrive very nicely here. Okay, that is it. I'm going to water it in. And be very happy here. I do love the stone prophetum. I love the fall color that it produces. This beautiful pink burgundy color. Very, very nice. So I'm also watering this cucurella I just transplanted over here. And I threw down some fertilizer just because I had some in the bucket and I wanted to get it out of the bucket. So instead of just wasting it, I put it over here. Why not? Okay, so those are watered in really good, and I'm happy that they will be good for the winter. So to finish up this section, all I'm going to do is cut back these flower heads on the hosta, on the cucurellas, and that looks better. I'm going to cut back the flower spikes on the stilby.
In the great outdoors, forever free, you and me, meant to be.
I have a spot here now, since that is dead, to put something else. This was the other hydrangea that lived. You can tell it's still alive. It's got green the top part can probably be cut back to be sure it's not all that alive. So anyway, that's one that made it. For whatever reason, it made it. I did have drip around here. I had drip around there, but no explanation. It just did not die. It just did not live. Now, like I say, I have a spot here to put something. But like I say, this is my shade garden. So you can't just plop anything anywhere. It has to fit the criteria of a shade plant to go in this area. So, most of my plants are sun-loving plants. And I don't even remember what this is. I'm just going to pull it off as dead plants. Over here in this section, I am going to cut back this catmint. It's looking pretty good, but it could be cut back. Good time, cut back.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me, we meant to be.
Okay, so don't feel scared when you're cutting back your perennials. Chop them back, make it look decent for you, and they will come back next year.
Great outdoors, forever free.
Okay, back up in here. Let's see. Back here in this section, as you can see, it's dry and very little stuff. It's because the plants back here in this area will get pretty large. You have to know by your tags how big something is going to get. And a lot of times we don't pay attention to that. But I have I'll put the name of it on the screen here. This plant gets pretty big. This is another one of those Sun King Aurelias right here. And I can pretty much cut this back. The leaves on it. It is gone for the year, for the season. Why keep it looking ugly when I can just cut it back. It will come back next year, and if it doesn't, all is well. So, everything back here looks okay. I can throw a little water back here. And other than that, it's fine. So I have taken care of some things today in this section. I have pruned back some of the perennials here and removed some of the weeds back here. Let's see, some that I missed. This would be a good spot to put some mulch, but I'm not gonna do that. I usually don't do that in the fall just because we're gonna have a zillion leaves falling and it just doesn't make sense to put beautiful mulch down and all the leaves fall on top of the mulch. I don't understand why people do that, but I'm not gonna do it. It's a waste of money. But anyway, I digress. All right, so here we go. That looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. And Sun King Aurelia will love it in that spot now. Those Fucarellas are going to love it in the spot with the rest of their brothers and sisters. I like that the flower stalks are removed from the stilbe and the hostas. And yeah, it looks pretty nice in this section. A good way to keep birds from coming to your garden is to have your bird baths look like this. So I am getting ready to empty this out and put fresh water in.
Sometimes you need to go.
I like to fill my bird bath up to the very tippity top, so that the birds, you know, they see that glistening water and it's more inviting. And also it looks like a infinity pool. So they can enjoy that infinity pool. So this is the plant here that I said I was going to move, and I'm going to move it out of this pot so that this fig can have its way with its root system, because it's not growing, and I think it's just because of the underplanting that's in it. So I'm going to remove that and put that in the ground as well. So here I go. So this is called Gloriosa Daisy.
Take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me.
Okay, so that is emptied out. The only thing in there now is just the Chicago fig. I will not underplant it anymore. Please forgive me. So sorry that I stunted your growth. But now you have the opportunity to take off. And I am going to put some fertilizer in. Okay, and water it in, and it should be happy from this point on. Now I'm going to move this Gloriosa daisy over there by the fence where I took that dead hydrangea out. Now this Gloriosa daisy is a perennial, and even if it was a different zone, I'm trying to put it in an area where it's getting a little shelter from the storm. Ooh, nice big worm in there, so that'll help out some. So I'm going to put a little fertilizer in here. And plant away. Make sure I have these in. I got one more over there. A little itty bitty one. So I'm going to backfill this with this soil. Now, nothing is a guarantee, guys. When you move something from one spot to another, it's not guaranteed that it's going to come back. It's not guaranteed that it's going to live, that it's going to survive. All of it is trial and error, because plants will do what they want to do. And you can give them the right environment, put the soil, water the soil, put fertilizer in there, move it at the right time, put it in the right spot. As far as its conditions, this is it gets not 8 hours of sun over here, but it gets enough sun. It is in the shade garden, but at this tippity edge area, tip of the edge area of this area, it does get sun. So I'm just gonna do what I believe is going to help this plant, and that's putting it right here. And if it doesn't survive, guess what? I can always get something else and put it in its place. It's never a guarantee, but you don't know unless you try. You can't be afraid to try. So I'm gonna water that in real good. Okay, this is the last thing that I moved over here in this section. This is that Concord grape. I put it down here and up on this trellis so that it could just climb and do what it wants to do. And it looks pretty good. I put some compost down at the bottom. Over here is a smoke bush, because I never remember the name of it. Just know it's a purple smoke bush. But the Concord grape looks pretty happy here. And I'm looking forward to seeing some grapes. If you have made it this far in this long video, I truly appreciate you. As you can tell, I really enjoy just getting out here in my garden and making my plants happy. It just brings me so much joy. I hope it has encouraged you to do the same.